Hello, everyone. I'm Jason McCraw. I'm a Group Show Director for Commercial Integrator Expo and CEDIA Expo coming up this September in Denver, Colorado. Excited to be joined today with several fellow industry colleagues. My fellow Emerald colleague, Dan Friese, Editor-in-Chief of Commercial Integrator Magazine. Hello, Dan. How are you today?
Well, good to see you, Jason. Excited about Commercial Integrator Expo and CEDIA Expo.
And I'm also excited to have two longtime industry friends, Carol Zelkin, Executive Director of IMCCA, and David Danto, Principal Analyst with Talking Points, and also the Director of Emerging Technology with IMCCA, join us today to talk about some of the content programming that IMCCA is going to be supporting at the show this year. Hello, Carol. Hello, David.
Hi, Jason.
Good
We're
evening.
thrilled
Pleasure
to
to be
be
here.
here.
Well, thanks for joining us today, and thank you all for participating on the webinar. Just a quick housekeeping note: if you have any questions, you can enter those in the Q&A box on the screen, and we'll try to address those as we go along, or certainly we'll leave some time at the end of the session today. But just wanted to give you a couple of quick slides, a little overview of why we're doing Commercial Integrator Expo together with CEDIA Expo, and it's our second year of having the programs together, two shows, one trip, one show floor. For many years there's been a convergence of commercial technologies with the residential channel, and that's been very prevalent with major brands showing both commercial and residential solutions in their booths at CEDIA Expo for many years. And the pandemic really accelerated the whole concept of work from home, hybrid office, and has really changed kind of the future of work. And we'll talk about that today. And that's a lot of the reasons behind why we've partnered with IMCCA, who are leaders in the industry in terms of education and discussion and thought leadership around unified communications and collaboration. And it's a great example of how the two channels are really coming together and creating new business opportunities for integrators on the commercial side and the residential side. And that's just one piece of our conference program that we have this year at the show. Our website, expo.commercialintegrator.com, is the website for CIX, which we abbreviate the show name as CIX. And you'll also find similar information at CEDIAExpo.com. So since we share a common exhibitor list and common show floor plan, you'll see that there. However, the registration for each of the conferences is separate for the two shows. But we'll talk as we go along what benefits you have, whether you attend CEDIA Expo or Commercial Integrator Expo. Whether you register for either show, you're going to be on the same show floor. And there's definitely some common events that can be attended by attendees of both shows. I also want to talk about, some of the leading brands, both in commercial and residential, are on the shared show floor this year. Crestron and the Lutron in the lighting area, and Sony and LG and Samsung in the display area. Most of the major market brands in commercial and residential are back again this year on the show floor. And we've added a host of dozens of new companies joining on the CIX side on the show floor this year. And it really provides a very unique collaboration, if you will, or a potpourri of technologies that you won't see at other industry events. So we're pretty excited about the exhibitors joining us on the show floor this year and providing a lot of their newest products and solutions for attendees to enjoy. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dan, who can lead us in our questioning today and hopefully provide a lot of information about the sessions and what attendees can experience at this year's events.
Thank you so much, Jason. I really do appreciate that. And I share your excitement about CEDIA Expo and Commercial Integrator Expo. The show floor, as you say, a lot of those tentpole brands you may not get to see, at least all in one place at some other shows, they're all going to be at CEDIA and CIX. I'm really excited about it. But I do want to talk about the content program, in particular, IMCCA's leading role in helping shape our vision of the future of work and collaboration and home offices and things of that nature. But for those who are not familiar with IMCCA, Carol, as executive director, do you just want to give people a sense of the IMCCA's pedigree and all the good work it has done over many years, multiple shows to try to educate the industry about the future of collaboration?
Sure, thank you, Dan. The IMCCA is a nonprofit association for communications and collaboration. We've been in business over 20 years, and we're recognized for our education, especially. Our members are both vendors and end users, and everybody gets along very well. We've been involved in many different events over the years, many different trade shows and educational events. We're very excited about this one because of the idea that it's a commercial and a residential event. And as all of you know, hybrid work has now become a way of life. And we feel that we have the expertise in that area to talk about it, talk what's going on in it, what's happening in it, as well as we've integrated into the program AI, which David will talk more about, so that we can start making the people on the show floor familiar with that as well. And David has the full program to talk about. And if anyone has any questions that we're not going to answer right now online, you can always reach out to myself or David before the show to get more information about the program and what you shouldn't miss.
You so much, Carol. And I think that's a perfect cue for you, David. I know that you really shaped this content program, at least the IMCCA portion of it, which includes numerous different sessions. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you ideated what sessions were most important to include here? You always bring the best, most knowledgeable panelists. You want to talk about what some of the sessions are, who is going to be presenting them, and why it's an indispensable element of the Commercial Integrator Expo experience.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And it's my pleasure to do this. I've been working with various conferences over, at least 3 decades at this point now. And I always want to put together the kind of show that I would want to attend. And that's really the guiding force. There are no commercials hidden in sight here, and no vendors giving their sales pitch disguised as education. As you point out, we have some great speakers that are going to be here. We have industry analysts, other than just myself. We have Kevin Keeler and David Maldo, who runs Let's Do Video, and we've even talked my partner at Talking Points, Dave Michaels, into coming in and moderating a session for us, as well as Amelia Vrabel, who's local, and a whole bunch of other people that'll present it. So there are two general tracks that the IMCCA are presenting here. One is on the future of work and what's going on in work and workplace Navy, and the other one is more on the technology. What's going on with the equipment, what's going on with the platforms, and they break down. And there's some very interesting subjects here. I don't think everybody's going to want to attend all of them, other than me, but I think it's a great selection. Kevin starts us off on Wednesday morning, talking about specifically, as Carol said, AI and collaboration systems. Biggest hype bubble that we've had in the industry and in any industry in decades. And what's good about AI, what's not good about AI, how can you use it, how can you improve things, what do you need to be careful of. Kevin presents one of the most knowledgeable, most balanced presentations on the subject. I've seen it, I've spoken with him about it. He's constantly updating it. What's interesting is every time he gives a presentation similar to this, the number of AI engines change. He's counting how many co-pilots Microsoft has, and some of their. So it's going to be a very good session for people to get their feet wet. They don't need to be experts, but they'll really understand what's going on and what some of the issues are. And then he actually does the next one as well, that we're providing, which is picking a platform. What is the right thing to do nowadays? We're doing this webinar on Zoom. Zoom does terrific things on their new, workplace module. You have Microsoft Teams, that's very big in here. You have, things from Cisco, things from Google. How do you pick between them? How do you figure out what the right thing to use is? And he's going to give the pros and cons of all the various pieces and really compare and explain what the choices are. And then there are lots of other program courses. I'm not going to go into all of them in detail, but David Maldo and I will be talking about how to choose the right equipment, for home offices, for small to medium sized offices and large boardrooms. What are the choice factors? What are the type of things that are out there? Chris Netto, who will be joining us, is going to be talking about, how do you get to the next step? How do you get from beyond good enough, just collaboration, to being a webcaster and a content presenter, which I think is a really interesting session that he does. We do some things on the idea, Amelia presents on the concept of making hybrid working work, which is, where are we in that hybrid working? That's actually going to be our smart stage session this year, which will be, on the show floor in the middle of Thursday, where we're talking about, are we still working hybrid? Are we returning to the office? Is working from home still a thing? What are the various, models? What's working? What's not? We're pleased. We're going to have Cisco joining us for that one, as well as a few other sponsors. They're going to be there and talking to us and giving their expertise about what works and what doesn't in the workspace. We'll be tackling meeting equity. We'll be talking about who are today's knowledge workers and where are they working. I'll be giving my normal session that I always do about how to design a really good home office, which is especially important in a residential area. As you can see, I've been looking around all at my 19 monitors in front of me in my home office in my basement in New Jersey. So it's a lot of really good content, and I believe that if people show up and they look at some of this stuff, they're going to get a lot out of it, even if they just attend for a little while. So I think we're presenting that. And Carol did want me to mention that when we're not presenting content in the sessions, our presenters are going to be back in the IMCCA booth. You'll be able to ask one-on-one questions with them, ask the experts, ask about AI, ask about how to choose equipment. And we may have some demonstration equipment there as well to show people the kinds of gear that'll be popular in the industry. So lots of things that we're planning on, some things that are still gelling, but I'm sure it's going to be exciting for everyone.
Really does sound exciting, David. And I appreciate the fact that you pointed out that these are not like infomercials. These are not product focused. These are real, genuine thought leadership sessions about the most topical issues of the day. We've talked before in collaboration today and tomorrow, for example, about the new normal versus the next normal. Is the pandemic going to have ripple effects, even though it's further back in our memories now, for decades into the future? I think we're all still trying to figure out the balance between working from home, working in an office. If I am working from home, what kind of setup should I have? How can I ensure that our meetings are genuinely equitable? All these kinds of things. This session that we're scrolling through right now, this series of sessions, touches on all the most topical, all the most pertinent, all the most critical collaboration topics. And as you say, this is genuine thought leadership, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. One of the most frustrating things that I have to deal with when I go to a conference is I go to a session because I want to learn about a subject that's being talked about, and I wind up getting, a 45-minute ad for the exhibitor. Exhibitors are great. It's great to hear from them, but I really do want these sessions to be educational, and I take that mission very seriously. So we've got a lot of really good content here that we're more than happy to share in this, and then after the fact as well. Jason, you can comment on that, but I assume we're going to be recording some of these, and we can make the slides available, and lots of great ways of getting this content.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm, pardon me if I've been scrolling up and down a little too fast there, but this information is coming directly from the website. So one of the things I wanted to point out is for attendees, where to navigate and find the courses schedule. I did want to point out that while the show Expo is open from Thursday the 5th through Saturday the 7th, we have a pre-conference day essentially starting on Wednesday the 4th. So you'll see that there's a number of sessions here that are offered on Wednesday, and the conference program goes through Friday. We don't have conference sessions on Saturday, but we do have stage sessions on the show floor on Saturday. And that's true as well for the CEDIA conference program, also runs Wednesday through Friday that week. I just want to point out up here, if you go to the navigation at the top of the page under show details, you'll see under the menu here, education, and you can get to the conference overview, conference schedule. And that's the page I'm on here. But there's actually under the show schedule and conference schedule, you'll see the show hours, the complete show schedule, and there's a searchable listing of all the different types of sessions at the show, manufacturer product training sessions, the Commercial Integrator Expo conference sessions, the IMCCA sessions. But I wanted to point out here, if you go to this navigation under track, you can scroll down and see CIX conference, or you can keep going and you'll see IMCCA Future of Work or IMCCA Unified Communications Technology. So, we had all of the CIX sessions I was just scrolling through on the web page, but here you can also search by day, by time. And so we have other sessions besides the IMCCA sessions that, were submitted through our call for presenters, and our content advisory board helped us select the topics. So, we have lighting trends, for example, on Wednesday, AV managed services, Colin Burney from AVMSP. We talk about digital signage and the business opportunity. Mike White, industry expert, has been around the industry for many years, is going to speak to the audience there. We talk about streaming on the university across the campus. Mark Peterson from Shen Milson Wilkie, great presenters in the entire program. And then you can see by day here, Thursday, we have additional sessions here, immersive classrooms, Jimmy Singleton from AVISPL, Randy Tritz from Shen, talking about esports venues. Dan's going to lead a panel talking about security integration. So there's a wide variety, as Dan has pointed out, and then also on Friday. So, we have nearly 24 sessions over the 3 days that we're doing. All the programs are about an hour in length, so they're easy to digest and works into your show schedule. We know that attendees are going to visit the show floor. They're going to take other sessions. So we've tried to make these, very consumable, and so they work into the program. And then additionally, you can look on here. There's a lot of other tracks in the CEDIA conference program that you can look for, but they will have, as I mentioned earlier, a separate registration fee. The location will tell you the rooms. We are using rooms 102 and 104 on the street level of the Colorado Convention Center for the Commercial Integrator Conference sessions. You can search by title, by speaker. So I would encourage all attendees to spend some time on the website to search and digest the wide variety of topics that we're offering for the program this year. I also want to point out that you can visit the show floor plan and the exhibitor list now online, and you can go right up here and click on that, and you can view the floor plan, the exhibitor list. You can search for exhibitors by product categories and types, and this will all be loaded into our event mobile app that will be pushed live hopefully by mid-August, a few weeks before the show. And the app will help you also make connections with other attendees and with exhibitors, to make meetings, to meet up at the show, to search the floor plan, to find exhibitors. And so you can see, the exhibitors that are in the show today. This is a current list, and we're actually still adding exhibitors every day. So you can check back often. But then you can also see the floor plan here at the Colorado Convention Center, where you can see where the brands are. And what we've done, like last year, the expo hall is a one level up from the street level when you come in the main lobby. If you're familiar with the Colorado Convention Center, there's a giant blue bear out front, and so you come in the lobby and then you go up the escalators and you're into the expo hall. And the commercial integrator section is here on the left side of the plan, and mixed and mingled throughout the entire floor plan are, many of the brands that are both commercial and residential that we talked about: Crestron, Sony, Lutron, Origin Acoustics, Snap One, Legrand, Samsung. They're all throughout the floor plan here. We also have audio demo rooms, sound rooms here on the show floor on the right side. And then we also have manufacturer product training and other rooms that are on the ground floor. I'll go to the street level here and show you, that there's a whole bunch of different meeting rooms used for the CEDIA conference program here in green, the CIX sessions down here, MPT sessions in pink, ballroom sections in here for like the Women in Consumer Technology luncheon on Friday, which I mentioned that. It does have a ticket, but it's always a sold out event every year. There's other networking events. We have our CE Pro Magazine Awards on the Smart Stage on Thursday afternoon, followed by a reception. The CEDIA Awards and member receptions on Friday evening, the 6th, and we'll also feature the CE Pro All-Star Band this year. And then there's a host of manufacturer parties and dinners and events that you'll have to check with the individual brands on those. But lots to see and do in Denver. And the great thing about Denver is that everything's right downtown. All the hotels, the bars, restaurants, everything's in walking distance to the convention center. And it's really easy to navigate and get to. So, registrations are pouring in as we speak. So I would certainly encourage all attendees to go online to register, but also to book a hotel room if you haven't done that already, to take a look at that. So I'm going to pause for a moment and see if we have any questions, and maybe we can circle back there, Dan, on some of the other topics there. I get excited about the show coming up, and there's lots to see and do, but it's important to check it all out.
Is a lot to see and do. There's no question about it, Jason. And I very much appreciate you bringing up the session I'm going to be moderating, how to add security integration into your AV business, because I think it's really of a piece with the whole idea of having CEDIA Expo and Commercial Integrator Expo in one place. It's about recognizing synergies, whether it's commercial AV synergies with security or residential AV synergies with commercial, the resi-mercial trend. It's all about kind of a merged synergistic environment, not looking at technology in silos, but looking at technology as one kind of merged or commingling ecosystem. And actually, we have a question specifically about that. They want to know about the synergies and the new business opportunities that emerge from having the custom home world and the commercial AV world converged on one co-located show floor. What kind of synergies or what kind of benefits can that unlock for an integration business by having everyone on one co-located show floor where everything is kind of commingled with one another?
Well, I think CEDIA Expo has been around for 30 years, right? So if you're a residential systems integrator, you're probably very familiar with CEDIA Expo, and you've been doing home theater installs and luxury homes and custom homes and, maybe some small light commercial projects over the years. And a lot of that's changed since the pandemic. It's created a lot more opportunities. We've seen the rise in multi-dwelling units, hospitality, mixed use, retail, residential, even on college campuses. The residential life and environments on the college campus today, mimic a lot of residential spaces. And so the opportunities to, from an integration standpoint, to use, heretofore products that were predominantly on the residential side have found their way into commercial, and vice versa. Certainly the home office trend that we've all seen and talked about, and we're using this platform right now to record this session and have the dialogue, is enabled through technology. And but there's a lot to it, whether it's the audio, the lighting, the control systems, the managing the streaming media platforms, how do you record content, edit content. It's a very horizontal. So if you take these two channels and now they're kind of coming together to, dare I say, make the peanut butter cup, the peanut butter and chocolate together, if you will, the two channels have converged. That's created a lot of new opportunities and a lot of technology that maybe heretofore, especially in, like, say, architectural lighting, hot growth area on the residential side now is becoming, a hot area on the commercial side as well. We have several dozen lighting manufacturers, lighting control system manufacturers, shade and window treatment manufacturers exhibiting at the show. Those are brands and products that many commercial integrators are not seeing at other industry events, for example.
Jason, you also have a lot of emerging technologies. If I'm giving you a friendly opportunity to take a breath, you have a lot of technologies that are coming across both areas equally. Like one of the sessions that we're going to be presenting this year is on smart homes and smart offices. What do we mean by that? What are we automating versus not automating? What are we using AI for? You know, Cisco's room systems have something called a light harvester, which is a light sensor which understands how much light is coming into the room through the windows and therefore not using as much electricity to create, artificial light in the room. That's a technology that, we could use in residential as well. Same thing with AI, same thing with all these other things that are emerging. So we're going to be trying to be presenting this in a way that is useful for both of these areas as they merge together.
Yeah, 100%. And Carol, you often speak to your, technology manager user members at IMCCA who are in, commercial, higher education, financial, retail segments. And what do you hear from them in terms of what they're seeing in terms of new technology adoption in their settings?
Well, right now, I think most of our vendors, as well as our end users, are asking about what products they can use in the hybrid work area. That has become probably our really most important area. The end user who is working hybrid work is still trying to figure out what to do. During COVID, they just like pasted everything together and said, let it just work. Now everyone wants a professional office, a professional home office. So we have a lot going on with that. And I think that we're going to see more products coming down the pike from our vendors, from the Cisco's of the world, even from someone like Zoom, to constantly keep updated equipment out there. So that's why this is a very exciting time for us. You don't need a big video conferencing room anymore to be able to collaborate and communicate with everyone. So it's a very interesting time. And it's a very unique time for our industry because COVID made it a lot of change. So the people who didn't know about conferencing and collaboration sure know now.
Yeah, true. And David, that's why we've seen an explosion of the integrated soundbar, camera, all in one kind of units that many of the brands are rolling out at the show this year. And it's tried to make things more easy for those endpoints for the customers. And I think integrators need to be knowledgeable on what the offerings are today so that they can offer the best solutions to their customers.
Oh, absolutely. And you've got a lot of people entering the space, a lot of organizations entering the space that might not have had experience with it before. So there's a broad range of products, ones that have clear differentiators that are outstanding in one way or another, and ones that are just me too products, but nobody wants to be left out of the space. The reality that we're approaching in all of these collaborative technologies is that the systems are getting smarter. So if you think of it from the sense of what could I just drop in versus what do I need an integrator and a designer and a sound specialist to do, the ability to drop in is growing and covering, it used to be just huddle rooms and small rooms. Now there's some technologies that comb the sound if it's not as good and aim the camera so you don't have to lift a remote. And we're now starting to approach some of those medium to larger rooms to be able to do these all easily and automated and inexpensively. You still need the experts for, first of all, to determine which is which, what's simple versus what isn't simple. You don't want to stick an inappropriate camera in a room that's going to be very complicated. And also to do the designs for when there is complication, because the complication is not going away. So we do cover a lot of that when in talking about picking platforms and picking gear and understanding the AI capabilities of the various systems. Do you really want to be buying a video bar from a company that before only made microphones? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. What are the reasons? What are the rationales behind it? Why does one video bar have 4 cameras in it and the other one only have 1 camera? Is it good? Is it overkill? Is there a difference? Those are the kinds of things that we'll be explaining in some of the sessions.
All of
Yeah,
that is so valuable, David, and I appreciate you clarifying really the value of coming to a show like CEDIA Expo, Commercial Integrator Expo. I think you make a very valid point that those big, bulky, hardware-centric, in many cases, multi-$100,000 conference rooms, the order of the day anymore. Those are that is not the way we collaborate anymore. At shows like this, integrators are going to get a sense of how they can make their money, how they can position themselves, how they can add value, how they can sell value, and they need to speak directly to the market as it exists today. And events like this, content sessions like this, are going to give them the inside track on what the pulse of the industry is today and how to sell value. Isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, we have to be aware of trends at this conference and at all conferences. If you're not really picking up on what's going on, if you're not realizing that software that combs audio produces better sound, therefore we might not need as many expensive microphones. If you miss that trend as a manufacturer or as an end user, you know, you could be spending a lot of money and making a lot of mistakes you don't need to. You have to catch those trends, and there are a lot of trends like that that you pick up. You know, they're not the headlines. You don't pick up a newspaper from the show daily or whatever it is and see you have to really walk around and attend the sessions and really get a sense of what the changes are, and that's how you learn that you're catching certain inflection points.
That's exactly right. I think all of us, integrators and media members alike, are trying to get a sense of the landscape of the industry as it exists today, how we can sell value today, how we can sell knowledge today, how we can best position ourselves to really serve our clients. I think sessions like yours, covering the technologies that you do, are going to give us a sense not of the industry of 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago, but the industry as it exists today. It's indispensable, the content program.
Oh yeah, and I last point, you know, Kevin Keeler, David Maldo, myself, Dave Michaels, you know, these are top-notch industry analysts. It would be very expensive for you to be able to get a one-on-one session with them and get advice from them, and to be able to have them available to answer questions and understand what's going on. You're not going to get that opportunity in too many other places.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us here today. I could not be more excited about CEDIA Expo, more excited about Commercial Integrator Expo. That merged landscape where you're going to bring together technologies from the resi world and the commercial world, genuine thought leadership that does not have, it's not pay to play, it's not infomercial, it's genuine thought leadership that you've helped curate, David, that you've helped ideate and bring together the very best, most knowledgeable panelists. And we're going to have those networking events, the AV Tweeps Fun. It's going to be an incredible, incredible show. You want to tell people, Jason, how they can register? Because I'm sure we've whetted their appetite. Now they just want to get there.
absolutely. Thanks, Dan, and thanks, David and Carol, for joining us today. Please visit expo.commercialintegrator.com for the website for the show. And at the very top right, you'll see a button that says register now, register here. You can put in whether you're a member or not. You can choose sessions. We have a day pass, a full conference pass. If you want Expo only, all the choices are right there, and it takes you through step by step. And then there's a link to go over to our housing page and look at hotel rooms and book your hotel as well. But again, check out the session schedule, the event schedule. As I mentioned, we'll have the mobile app available here shortly, and plan for your trip and join us at this great event. It's like homecoming week for technology, and we'll love to see everybody there. And thank you so much for your time.
I'll see you there. We'll see you in Denver.
Looking forward to it.
We can't wait.